Hey there folks, this is GreenyXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 168. In the last episode, we saw how the dam construction worker really died, how sort of batshit crazy he went, probably because of Higurashi syndrome, and how his underlings below him had to kill him off as self-defense, I guess, unless they went crazy as well. I couldn't really make out the tone of what they were going for there. And we also saw how Satoko is treated in the village because of how they wanted to leave the village and let the village be flooded and all that sort of stuff. So, and how Rika was treated so much better because she's a fruity. And we were gotten the milk candy that Rika was given, but Satoko wouldn't take off it. So let's go for that first. Mion-san, your friend is here. I heard the housekeeper's voice. Our house and the front yard are huge, so unlike normal houses, ring the doorbell or yelling my name repeatedly asking to play won't work. Okay, thank you. Who is it? Rika Fude-chama. Oh, finally! Can you tell Granny that Rika-chama is here? I think she's on the porch. I'll get the watermelon. Is Shion? It's gotta be Shion. Granny received many beautiful watermelons from somebody. Mion, sorry. So she wanted to share. I just called the Fude house a short time ago, and Rika-chan is here to pick one up. Did she come on her bicycle? I can't remember if it has a big enough basket. I pulled the watermelon from the well while thinking about that. The cold water in the well has refrigerated the watermelon, and the condensation makes it look delicious. The 3 members of the Fude family will enjoy it for at least 2 nights. Meep? Am I supposed to take it home? I thought... What? Didn't your dad tell you? The priest answered the phone and I thought I told him to come pick it up. Maybe I wasn't clear enough, or maybe he misunderstood me completely. But she's here to eat the watermelon, not to take it home. Besides, a small basket on Rika-chan's bicycle won't hold the watermelon. What the hell was that? Sorry, somebody was shouting outside my window. Too dangerous for it to ride while holding it in her hands. Mion, why don't you help Rika-chan take the watermelon? There's no way she can ride her bicycle while carrying it. Meep, I can hold the watermelon. No, that's too dangerous. If something happened to you, I wouldn't know what to say to Oyashiro-sama. Mion will help you. Okay, I will. I'll go say hello to the priest too. No matter whether she rides or pushes her bicycle, Rika-chan's hands will be occupied, so I'm going to carry the watermelon. So is she going to have to ride a bike with it in her hands? The sky is turning auburn in the sunset. The cool breeze feels good on my sandaled feet. I guess not. The plastic bag I'm carrying contains a watermelon, and also some small bags of rock candy. If your mother finds them, she'll take them away, so we decided to eat them before we got to her home. We opened the bags and enjoyed the rock candy. Rika-chan isn't an exception. Whenever kids from our neighbourhood comes to our house for errands, Granny gives them some treats. Actually, that's a pretty common rule here in Higurashi. It's funny, but sometimes when parents aren't watching, siblings will fight over who gets to take the circular notice to the next house over. So these bags of rock candy are like tips for them. Of course, she doesn't normally give out this much. Usually it's just a little piece of it. Granny is being extra nice to Rika-chama. I feel bad getting all this candy. Don't worry, Granny loves you. You should just thank her and put a big smile on your face, that's all. Did you get lots of treats? I used to. But at this age, they don't give me any. If they did though, I would probably feel I was being treated like a little kid. Meep. I'm being treated like a child then. That's okay. Enjoy it while you can. When you become as old as me, you won't get any, even if you wanted some. As we talked about ordinary things, I noticed Rika-chan seemed a little sad. What's wrong? Whenever I run errands, I get candy as a treat, but Satoko doesn't get any, even if she comes with me, as we saw in the last episode. I can think of so many reasons why. Not only Satoko, but everyone in the Hojo family is being treated poorly in Higurashi. And the Sonzaki family are the ones who instigated that. The 2 dam supporters have died in an accident already, but the malice against the Hojo family is still going. It's directed against Satoko and Satoshi, their children, and the aunt and uncle who are taking care of them. The big fight between the Hojo family and the Sonzaki family at the explanatory meeting started all this. But that was the Hojo couple. It shouldn't have anything to do with the children and their aunt and uncle. But the idea that the Hojo family are traitors evolved on its own. Therefore, anyone bearing the Hojo name is to be treated poorly. The aunt and uncle weren't dam supporters. So over time, the attacks towards them should have stopped. But they're rather odd, and they keep having trouble with their neighbours. They don't follow the community rules, they don't do the community duties, and they spray pesticide while their neighbour's laundry is still hanging outside. They often get into fights with the other villagers, they'd be hated even without the dam. Therefore, the Hojo family continues to be treated poorly. But none of that should have anything to do with Satoko and Satoshi. Satoko and Satoshi are often depressed at school. I tried to leave the conflict between the two families aside, but I wonder how they really feel about that. From their point of view, I'm just another member of the family that keeps harassing them. I don't want any of that at school. That's why I try to be their friend while we're there. How can we get that to extend outside too, instead of staying in the school? That'd be pretty difficult. The Hojo family made enemies of the three families. They're branded as traitors, and that's still considered the truth. It wouldn't mean anything if one person suggested an end to the hostilities just because the events around the dam are history now. On the contrary, that would just put them in the same position. Unfortunately for Satoko and Satoshi, the only thing they can do is to wait patiently until the issue withers away. All I can do for them is provide an oasis until that day comes. So how long do they have to wait? I don't know. The dam conflict lasted for several years. They were branded back then, so it might take years to clear up too. What do you mean? They won't be forgiven until they become adults? Will Satoko have to live out her childhood going through that? That's pretty miserable, isn't it? We're their friends, aren't we? Sure, they're my friends. We're all buddies. Then isn't there something we can do to help our friends? What exactly can we do? Even if the Sonzaki family declares that the dam conflict is over, so the Hojo family are no longer outcasts, that won't solve the problem. It's not that simple. In the first place, Granny hates the Hojo family and won't suffer their name to be mentioned in her presence. It's not a matter of someone forgiving another. It's a matter of very complicated ties between the people in this village. It's absolutely terrifying to have them as your enemies. Everyone knows that very well, and that's why they maintain good relationships with their neighbours. However, if you make enemies out of them, you'll have to face the consequences. That's the unwritten law of the Japanese community, and Sonzaki family is a part of this unwritten law. Now that the Hojo family are outcasts, not even the Sonzaki family can overturn the situation. So even if it's an issue with Hinamizawa, we can't do anything about it as Hinamizawa residents? Unfortunately, that's probably so, yeah. If it's someone who can help Satoko, that person must be someone who has nothing to do with the village. But there's no one like that here. You saying someone from the outside has to come help her? Like Rika-chan says, would a knight in shining armour from the outside world ever come here? Would that person bring in a new wind into this village that has been filled with stale air for hundreds of years? No way. That's just wishful thinking. Time will solve the problem someday. Until then, I have to be their ally. I can't think of anything else I can do for them. As Rika-chan and I crunched on our rock candy, we can only pray that people will forgive Satoko and her family sooner rather than later. Rika-chan gently broke the heavy silence. I know. Eh? I know someone who has absolutely nothing to do with the village and will come here from the outside. That's right. The dam conflict's over, so it'd be great if more people moved into those lots that are for sale. Wouldn't it be fun if a family with a kid our age moved in? He will come. I know. And we'll break this evil practice alongside him. Yeah, Rika knows. That would be the first key to one of the 3 locks that have us trapped in the past. Eh? What's this? You talking about a novel or something? Rika-chan says some odd things sometimes. When she talks that way, she seems so mature. I even start to doubt she's really younger than I am. The unreasonable antagonism towards the Hojo family. Will there really be someone from the outside who will shatter our old traditions? Who could it be? Maybe that's going to be the next fragment as well. Maybe that's a hint, a picture of this person. So let's have a little look a sec. In a sec. There we go. T7 Randa. Nope. We still need to go for that. That's an easy one though. Watermelon from Sonzaki family, so we've done that one. Ryugu family's move. We haven't done that one. Let's try it. I don't think so. No. Okay. We've done one of the 2 sort of things we need to do for it. So, bottle of wine, conflict between Hojo and Sonzaki, done that one. Self-introduction of Satoko, haven't done that one. Fragments required first. We need to do that one to do that one, I think. Part-time jobs required. But if the dam project is done, then maybe we should be following these at the same time kind of thing. Shopping trip, Shinto priest contacting area institution, I've done that. It's tricky, I find it tricky. Nope, none of them. Search on that, no. Nope. Done one of them. Done the top one for that one. Live specimen for research. No. Yeah. Maybe? Okay, we're making our way back a bit. So the dam's construction workers, manager's dead. So we can see this one. And they need someone. They need someone to use as a test subject, I think. I was half asleep, so I didn't even hear the phone ringing nearby. I'm not going back and forth, but it's the easiest way to figure out which ones to go through, which fragments. It is making it easier for me. After a while, I finally realised the phone was ringing, and a ringing phone means there's some kind of an emergency. It's 2 in the morning. Who would even call me at this time of the night? Hello, this is Irie. Sorry to bother you, Dr. Irie. It's Sakano-san. She's never called me for a personal reason. At the institute, she's ranked just below me, so she's basically responsible for running it. So for her to call me this late at night, it must be an emergency. Sorry it took me so long. Is it true that we have another terminal patient? Yes. I was hoping to find a living specimen, so this is perfect. I initially thought that she'd abducted someone. The man had already been moved to the research area in the clinic's basement. Having been tied down to the examination table, he's struggling against his restraints, but more as though he's deranged than actually resisting. I can't even understand what he's saying. He sounds angry, sorrowful, and like a child throwing a tantrum all at once. So obviously he's not in the right state of mind. Anyway, let's put him under anaesthesia. He might kill himself otherwise. I wanted to observe him a little longer, but I guess I have no other choice. When the staff with a white gown got the anaesthesia ready, even a normal person would struggle to escape a restraining table in this suspicious room. But this man's behaviour is at an abnormal level. I'm sure Okanagi-san and his friends from the Mountain Dogs are the ones who captured him. Capturing a man in this state of mind couldn't have been an easy task. According to Takano, she ran to this patient on her way home from the clinic by accident. She brought him back here, tested him, and the result came back positive. Of course, I have no intention of just believing what she's telling me. But there's no question that this man is at the terminal stage, and a live specimen is exactly what we need to research the syndrome. Who's this man anyway? He had something wrapped in newspaper. What do you think it was in it? Ugh, what is this? There's something wrapped in a bloody newspaper on a tray nearby. Looking at the blood-drenched paper, I can only imagine there is something gruesome inside of it. Yet Takano-san looked like she wanted to surprise me with something interesting. Oh god, this is awful. It's a bloody right arm. Yes, construction worker's missing right arm. The man on the table still has his. This right arm doesn't belong to him. So who does it belong to? I'm used to looking at things like this as a doctor. But the horrible cross-section makes me want to look away. It wasn't done according to a medically acceptable method, that's for sure. It was obviously done out of cruelty. Judging by this situation, we can assume this man cut off his arm. So he's the culprit behind the body dumping that's been occurring in the neighbourhood. At that point, there was no way of knowing who the right arm belonged to. But the next morning, the dismemberment murder of the dam construction site director was reported, and they mentioned that his right arm was still missing, so we learned who the arm belonged to. This man has a criminal record and he's on probation, yet he committed another crime. I bet he dismantled the body in order to hide it. So remember, there was that one dam worker, construction worker, who said we were told had already sort of done sort of violent stuff in the past. That's this guy who's gone a bit mad. I'm sure it depends on circumstances, but he'll get more than just a few years in prison. So you won't hesitate to dissect a scumbag like him, right? Who knows? Maybe he was a scumbag before, became violent due to the syndrome. Or maybe he had gone straight, but became violent again due to the syndrome. The former is one thing, but if it's the latter case, it's not his fault. That's why Hinamizawa syndrome is so terrifying. We can't tell if the syndrome is the cause of the crime, or if it's simply a problem of human nature. But what causes a defect of human nature in the first place? That was precisely Irie's area of research. Hate the crime, not the criminal. Could criminals only be corrected by punishing them with imprisonment? If a person commits a crime because of a mental disorder, but then gets a treatment, he is corrected. In other words, there are no crimes in this world, only patients awaiting treatment without anyone else being able to understand them. In medieval times, patients with mental disorders were said to be possessed by demons and they were either confined or killed. Centuries after, they were finally acknowledged as mentally ill people who needed treatment. Perception can change with time. Even if they are called criminals now, maybe after several centuries, those criminals will be acknowledged as patients who are entitled to appropriate treatment. Explaining crimes through illness instead of malice. That's my life's work. Hinamizawa syndrome is a strange disease that can support my theory. Solving its mysteries is extremely important to me. To solve those mysteries, I need a medical sacrifice. It's an extremely sinful thing to do, but there's no way to unravel this without it. The Area Institute was authorized to take such drastic measures if necessary. That's why I was asked about it so many times when I accepted the position of director. Finally, the opportunity is here. This will be the first step for our research on this strange disease. But even now, I'm a little hesitant. I've opened up human bodies in my surgeries. What I'll be doing on this man is something very similar, but there's also something that's very different. What I did before was part of treatment. I did it to save the patients' lives. I did it so the patients could have a better future. But what I'm trying to do here isn't treatment. He will die at the end of it. His death will be far from humane. I'm going to violate nature and force him to stay alive while I open up his living brain. Director Area, are you listening? Sorry. Could you repeat that? I believe it's best that we submit the dissection proposal to Tokyo and request their assistance. He's not only alive, he's also in terminal stage, so he's an extremely important specimen. We must conduct the dissection very carefully. It's true. You're right. Let's do as you say. I think we'll have a few days before the dissection, so I want to run some reaction tests once he's off the anesthetic. Do you think that's safe? Even if he's restrained, we don't know what will happen. We finally have the opportunity to test a live specimen. We can't only look into his brain. Takano-san's unusual cheerfulness made me feel odd. Maybe a reaction is normal. Maybe I'm the one who's not reacting normally in this situation. I'm here only for the research, so I should be excited to have the opportunity to perform our first live dissection. But I'm still hesitant. How can I call myself a researcher? Researchers of the past were brave enough to cross the line. That's how they accomplished many things. I've seen many brains. I've operated on them. I've lost some patients too. But I never thought anything of it because I knew I did the right thing. Even when my hard work was denied afterwards. If it pained me to think of that, then I just needed to advance the field of medicine to ensure their deaths weren't wasted. That's the true form of those advancing the field of medicine. Yet, why was my heart tormented so much just by changing the name from treatment to dissection? Does it mean I'm not man enough to emulate those great men of the past who opened the doors to new medicine, that I don't have the power to develop new advances myself? Hey! What's the matter, Director? You feeling okay? Takano is pretending to be concerned about me, but she knows. She knows I'm still hesitating, and she's telling me that I should be ashamed as a researcher for feeling that way. I shook my head to clear it of sleepiness. Remember, the resolve brought me here to this day. I already have blood on my hands, but if I stop now, their lives will be wasted. Those who shed their blood can only rest in peace once they've become the cornerstones of great research. I shook my head once more and reminded myself that I'm a researcher. No, I was just thinking. Takano-san, please make some arrangements with Tokyo. Let me know when it's done. Okay, understood. This is really exciting. The least I can do is my best, so his life wouldn't be wasted. If he bleeds, I can't waste even a drop of his blood. After scolding my staff for their indiscretion of discussing this dissection with such excitement, I returned to my office. Okay, so they found him. This is the test subject they used for it, I suppose. Oh, it's getting exciting. How do you define that fragment, though, to be able to know which one to move on to next? Ooh. Did that change the background? Yeah, it used to be purple and pink, that sort of thing, didn't it? Hospitalization of Satoko, no. Weakest father being marked, no. Third year's curse, 5 patients, dissection is required. I think that's probably the one we just had. Help from Konkari, no. Death Satoko, who just aren't, no. No. Oh, an execution order for the 3rd year's curse. No. That one? Prior... No. Prior consent, I thought. When they were sending off for it. No. It's getting less and less though, so it is getting a bit easier, I suppose. Shopping trips done. Priest contacting the area institution. No. Self-introduction. I think we might need to go for that next and try and get some of that done. But I'll keep looking a little bit. No. A capsule? No. Raw sea urchin and vitamin E are required. I don't know. I think we might be able to do 1 or 2 of these by now. I don't know, mind, but 7 fragments? I mean, we've got 7. Probably done now. Go on, let's try it. Let's see what it gives us. Oh, we haven't done 7. You sure? 7 fragments are required. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. There must be some other meaning behind it. Okay, let's go for you. Let's meet Satoshi, Satoko's brother. When I asked Rika-chan, she said Satoko might have possibly gone up to the mountain behind the shrine. She's fond of going there. The mountain is covered with trees, vines, fallen logs, and she really likes the area. Any child would dream of having a secret base. And Satoko, her secret base is the whole mountain. She likes traps, right? However, the mountains were undeveloped territory, making them a dangerous place that was easy to get lost in. As her brother, I'm a little concerned that she spends so much time on it. But maybe I should worry more about myself getting lost since I rarely come here. The mountain gets dark quickly when evening falls. If I still can't find her, I should look for her somewhere else. Satoko! Satoko! I'm yelling as loud as I can, but in the woods, my voice doesn't carry that well. According to Rika-chan, she has been making her secret base in this area. She goes up there alone to expand it. What does she mean by expand it? If it's a secret base, she must not want anyone to find it. Does that mean she set up some traps? Considering that, I should have noticed the traps on the mountain before one got me. Ah! Suddenly my foot sunk into the ground and snagged on something like a jump rope tied beneath dried leaves. I heard some noise from up above. Then a big ball made of branches fell right next to me. Evident to be one of the more playful traps Satoko loved. If I wasn't so lucky, I'm sure the ball would have hit my head. Oh my, look who's here. It's you, Nini. Satoko, no, this kind of horseplay is dangerous. Did you not see the sign put up by the forestry service? It clearly states it's dangerous to come into these woods. My wonderful traps will welcome anyone who ignores that warning. Oh, as a brother, I should stop her from doing things like this. But when I see her brilliant smile, I can't say anything else. I haven't seen that smile in some time. By the way, Satoko, weren't you told to come home by evening, since we're going out for dinner tonight? I don't want to go. Why don't our mother and father go by themselves? If you want to, you can go with them, Nini. Are you still angry at father? He threw an ashtray at me. No, that happened with our previous father. Our current one hasn't done that. He locked me out on the veranda. He didn't feed me lunch. He complained I got him the wrong brand of cigarettes, and he slapped my face saying I shouldn't be a picky eater. And then, she isn't talking about our current stepfather. Things about all of our different stepfathers have mixed themselves up in her head. Every time our mother remarried, we had to call a different man our father. The word father isn't a word that should be taken lightly. If you don't truly acknowledge a man as your father, how can you call him that? That's how much weight it carries. However, just to make things smooth and peaceful, I used the word father even if I didn't want to. But it was too difficult for Satoko, young as she was, to do the same. Ever since Satoko was very little, she's been having troubles with all our stepfathers. She's never opened up to our current one. Satoko, a father figure, is no longer someone she can trust. It's true that our current stepfather doesn't have any experience being a parent, so he sometimes gets rather upset with her. But ever since the incident where Satoko called a child abuse hotline, our stepfather regretted his mistakes and tried his best to communicate with her. Even my mother realised how much Satoko has suffered emotionally when it was pointed out by the social worker. She was doing her part in trying to bring Satoko back into the family. But Satoko completely refuses to even try. It's understandable though. Her childhood had been filled with misery. Satoko can only open up to me. That's why I have to be the one and only family member she can trust, otherwise she'll be all alone in this world. But a brother and sister alone can't be considered a family. Even if we don't get along now. If we continue to communicate, even in a small way, we may be able to become a real family someday. Satoko, our current stepfather is getting nicer. He says he wants to make up with you. That's news to me. That's because every time he tries to say something, you run away. He wants to talk to you. He says he won't make you eat pumpkin anymore. That's a lie. He said I couldn't leave until he ate my pumpkin, and he tied me to the chair. Again, she isn't talking about our current stepfather. Satoko, just come home with me, okay? Mother got a free dinner coupon. We don't want it to go to waste, do we? We already have the reservation, so we have to go today. Why don't you go, Nini? I prefer staying home alone. Satoko usually doesn't stay out playing this late. She knows we're going out, and that's why she's out here alone. Although I want to snap at Satoko, I controlled myself. Because she only has me. I can't scare her. Please let's go home, Satoko. You don't have to decide to go or not right now. You can think about it after we get there. Besides, without your help, can't find my way down the mountain. Nini, I've brought you here so many times already and you still haven't learned. What am I going to do with you, Nini? Satoko holds out her hand. She often says she's embarrassed to hold my hand in front of people, but she's holding out her hand right now. I took that hand. Satoko's fragile hand. I have to protect her, as her big brother. Let's go home, Satoko. Sure. Okay, so that's showing the relationship between Satoko and Satoshi, and how they've never had like a constant father figure in their lives, I guess. I don't know how that's going to play out. Well, we sort of do, but in this sort of arc. Right, where can we go from there? Part-time job, footsteps, nope. Conflict between self-introduction of Satoko Hojo? Would it be that one? No, not self-introduction, I guess. We did get to know him a little bit, but no. Rock candy, Satoko, just detailed test result of not tests. Nope. Local family's move still haven't happened. Fragments required first, so maybe we could go for that next. I think we probably should, because I think that'll connect a lot with Satoshi and Satoko. I'll have a quick look. You never know. Queen carrier must not be allowed to visit the sister. No. Research needs to... Sorry, I know this is probably a bit boring watching me check these out. Try to find which one it is. Death Satoko's hand. I think the best we can do now is go for her. One more check around. Okay, let's go for it. My name's Satoko Hojo, but Hojo is my current father's family name. I was also Satoko Hataki, Satoko Yoshizawa, and also Satoko Matsura. I think it's the first we've heard about all this, now. Because of my previous fathers. Names, I mean. I'm still not used to being called Hojo-san. If someone calls me Satoko, then I know that person is talking to me. Because Satoko is the name I've been using since I was born. I don't understand why my mother keeps getting married and divorced. If she's going to get a divorce, why'd she get married? If she's married, why'd she get a divorce? I've asked her before, but depending on the situation, her answers were different. When I asked her when she was married, she got angry. When I asked her after she got divorced, she cried. I don't understand the meaning of marriage, so I've no interest in drawing pictures of a bride in a wedding dress. I don't think I'll ever get married. I don't want to keep changing my child's last name. My teacher once asked if I liked my mother. I think it was when I was kindergarten in Okinamaya. That was a very difficult question. Because sometimes I loved her very much, sometimes I hated her very much. I couldn't decide. When my mother was nice, she smiled all the time. She made us happy. She thanked me for being her daughter. When my mother wasn't nice, she frowned all the time. She treated my brother and me very poorly. She told me I should have never been born. My teacher asked me if I liked my father. That was a very easy question, because I always hated him very much, no matter who he was. The new fathers always treated me nicely at first, as if I was their real daughter. They always told me I could think of them as my real father. But they couldn't be my real father. Besides, I didn't even know my real father's face. How could I call him my father? I couldn't. That was disgusting. Right before divorce, my fathers always became very irritated with me. They treated me like a cockroach. They told me they didn't have money to feed me. They threw things at me. They locked me out on the veranda. I was told I could forget about them because that was all in the past. I think that was a different teacher from a different school. Maybe that's true. Because ever since Hojo became my father, my mother has been smiling. I haven't seen them get into a fight as I have seen happen just before a divorce. They have little arguments here and there, but those don't lead to a divorce, and they always make up. I'm sure they'll get a divorce sooner or later. Then it'll be the same old stuff with the family court, divorce settlements, a night flight, child support. So who knows how long this Hojo will be my father. That's why I don't even feel like calling him that. Give me 2 secs. Okay, I'm back. He also treated me well at first, but when I didn't call him father, even after he asked me repeatedly, he became irritated. They'll get a divorce soon, so I've got to be quiet now. Somebody's got to bed. When my father gets into this mood, a divorce is on the way. After a divorce, it's my mother's turn to be irritated with me. Then she'll tell me she shouldn't have had me, or she can't be happy because of me. Why is my existence causing problems for my mother? I asked my brother, and he told me, if I have children, it's not easy to find someone to get married with. To my mother, remarriage is a very important job, so I can understand having children around will cause problems. I think I finally understand the reason why I'm a nuisance to her. I asked my brother something else. Why are children hated by new fathers? Well, that's simple. That's because family members all have different roles. A mother's job is to love her children. A father's job is to love the mother. That means I'm a nuisance to both my mother and my father. My brother's more mature than me, so they don't look down on me as a nuisance. On him. But maybe I am. No, I'm definitely a nuisance. So now I know. Both my mother and father want me dead. But if they kill me, they'll be caught. But that doesn't mean they won't kill me. If I were to look down the cliff, and if no one was around, my mother and father would push me off for sure. My father has become abnormally nice to me recently. He's started to act that way ever since I made the fake call. I think it's going red as in her trip down into the syndrome, down into insanity, Hinamazawa syndrome. And we know what happens when, we know what happens in the past. I think it's the 3rd year, right? I know for sure that it's just part of a plot to kill me, so I won't let them trick me. I'm sorry. Lately when I listen very carefully I can hear a voice apologising. The voice sounds similar to mine. Her mother must be telling her that she shouldn't have been born, and we know that's her Shiro-sama, or Hanyu, apologising. I'm sorry. But I won't apologise like that. I'll live. I'm gonna strike back. I'll kill before I get killed. I'm sorry. Okay. And I saw there was one of the fragments that showed like a 3rd year curse one, which I assume is the one. Oh. I wish we'd started with this one a bit sooner now. I don't know. It's not going to be near the end, is it? It's all the first 5 pages I think we got to do first, by the looks of it. Red capsule, no. Rock candy, yeah. Satoko Hojo's deal, no. I've read this so many times, I should know them off by heart by now. But I don't. Okay, I'm back again. Self-introduction of Satoko, no. Oh wait, Satoko, yeah. I was thinking Satoshi then, but no, Satoko, that's right. We can do that one. But there was another one as well, I'm sure there was. Yeah, execution order for the 3rd year's curse. Oh no, I don't think we have had that. I think the only one we can do now, to be honest, is that one I just saw. Discontinuation of dissection plan. 3rd year's curse. Ah, yeah. I think that might be okay. No, it's not. It hasn't quite happened yet, I get it. Okay, I think the only one is the one I was seeing before then. No, that one. That one. Yeah, I think we've reached a sort of dead end apart from that one, so we can go for it. Okay, but I'm going to end things off there, because God knows there's a lot of people coming in and out of the house, and someone's sleeping, and it's just a bit of a night here, so I better stop there anyway. This has been GreenyXI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time when we see how Satoko sort of progresses with this line of thought that we just saw her going down into the syndrome. I've been recording for probably about 3 hours on and off today, so I'm a bit knackered. 3 to 4 hours. So, thanks again for watching, folks. See you again in a bit.